So, you want to go fast? Harness the power of all the Chaos Emeralds? Move at such unthinkable speeds, not even your opponents will be able to respond. Born of alien DNA, sought after to be the ultimate life form, Shadow the Hedgehog was created by none other than Professor Gerald Robotnik. What initially started out as a project to cure his ailing granddaughter Maria quickly turned into something much more sinister as the mad scientist began to understand Shadow's true capabilities. Shadow spent his early days on Space Colony Ark, humanity's first galactic settlement, fronted also by Gerald Robotnik. It was here that Shadow began to form a close relationship with Maria. It would be this relationship that would form Shadow's overarching goals and who he eventually becomes as a hero. Tragically, and unbeknownst to Shadow, Robotnik's plans to utilize his powers for total domination ended up becoming found out and intercepted by the organization GUN. The resulting invasion ends with the loss of lives of everyone on board Space Colony Ark, including Maria. As she sends Shadow out on his escape pod, he remembers his promise to her to keep humanity safe from all dangers. It wouldn't be long before GUN catches up to Shadow and ensnares him in stasis for the next 50 years.
Shadow the Hedgehog had debuted in a game called Sonic Adventure 2, which was a massive hit.
Who's your favorite character?
Favorite character?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't want to be that guy, but I really like Shadow.
He was so successful and so popular that Sega decided, hey, we're going to give him his own video game. So Shadow the Hedgehog was a standalone title.
Get to see him! There's a giant Shadow the Hedgehog for sale.
Extremely popularized for his stoic charisma and brooding angst, Shadow the Hedgehog has gone on to consistently place himself in the top 10 best video game characters of all time in hundreds, if not thousands, of magazine and fan polls alike. So how do we end up here? On the battlefield, Shadow the Hedgehog versus Ulamog. Well, in my own personal headcanon, the Time Eater, when he warped Shadow the Hedgehog to the white space, inadvertently created a rift in the blind eternities. But regardless of the matter, I'm glad he's here. Buckle up, because he's a doozy. Shadow is 2 black, 2 red, and is a 4/2 hedgehog mercenary with haste. When Shadow the Hedgehog or a creature you control with flash or haste dies, draw a card. But it doesn't stop there. One of the most interesting things about the Shadow card is him coming equipped with his new Chaos Control ability. which gives any spells you cast with mana used from artifacts split second. What is split second? It just means that any spells you cast on top of the stack cannot be responded to at all. That means you're free to cast your tuners with impunity and laugh in the faces of the blue players who wish to stop your toxic deluges. So how do we take advantage of all this advantage? Well, for starters, you're going to want to start making some treasure tokens. A lot of them. Cards like Professional Facebreaker, Knuckles the Echidna, and Captain Lantern Storm all give you a massive amount of treasure tokens just for swinging in. Which allows me to introduce you to one of the biggest stars of the show, Warren Soul Trader. For 2 colorless mana and a black, this 3/3 zombie goblin warrior simply reads, pay 1 life, sacrifice a creature, create a treasure token. This is notably not once per turn, and can be done at instant speed. Warren Soul Trader enables game-ending loop strategies when combined with the likes of Gravecrawler and Impact Tremors, for instance. Put a Pitiless Plunder on board? That's 2 treasure tokens per creature. Get an Undead Sprinter out there, and combined with Shadow on board, you have an infinite draw system. And while you're at it, why not throw on an Aki, Ember Keeper, to create enough tokens to overwhelm any army your opponents thought that they could put up. While this may initially seem like a lot to add up onto the board, when you take into consideration the tutors available in Rakdos, and the innate draw power of both the colors and Shadow, it's not unlikely that you're able to build up a win con quicker than your opponents are able to see coming. Enter the realm of vicious, swirling flames and gold coins as far as the eye can see. Hellkite Tyrant, a 6/5 flying dragon with trample that's sure to strike fear in the hearts of all the second it slams onto the field. The moment it crashes into the face of an opponent, it steals all artifacts they control. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. Unsuspectingly give the table more treasure tokens than they'll know what to do with things like Curse of Opulence or Descend into Avarice, and watch as everybody flounders as they suddenly realize they're about to lose the game next turn if this thing goes unanswered. The overall playstyle of the deck also greatly appreciates a few aristocrats thrown into the strategy. Classics, such as Blood Artist, that loses each opponent a life and gains you a life anytime a creature dies, or the less commonly known, Marionette Master. For 4 colorless and 2 black, this human artificer comes in at 1/2. But not to worry, she also comes in with Fabricate 3. For those unfamiliar with Fabricate, the creature comes in and creates a 1/1 colorless artifact creature token, or enters with a +1/+1 counter for however much it fabricates. So, it has the possibility of coming in as a 4/5 instead. Why is this so important? Well, besides being just a big beefy body on board, Marionette Master's second ability reads, whenever an artifact you control is placed into the graveyard, target opponent loses life equal to Marionette Master's power. That means each time you go to sacrifice one of the endless treasure tokens you're creating, Marionette Master is dealing out massive amounts of damage. Capable of ending games quickly and out of nowhere, Shadow the Hedgehog, currently rated as an A-tier commander, is able to go head-to-head with the best of the best. Coupled and remembering the ability that once Shadow is on board, your spells become near impossible to respond to, it's easy to see why the deck pushes itself, literally, a bracket above the rest. For this section, I wanted to go over a goldfish hand, particularly an ideal hand, the perfect hand, you could say, for a shadow deck. As with any deck, more often than not, you won't have an ideal hand. But I wanted to demonstrate a really cool loop strategy that you can perform with Warren Soul Trader, Pitiless Plunder, and Undead Sprinter. First thing you're going to want to do is to get a low CMC, non-zombie creature on board. Creatures such as Thieves Guild Enforcer or Dire Fleet Poisoner that happen to have flash as well that can combine with Shadow's draw ability. The intention behind this upcoming play is I have the option to play an untapped mountain or a tapped land. Not knowing whether or not I'll get the option for an untapped land when I need it, I decide the safe play is to play the tap land and hold the line in the event that an opponent decides to attack me on their turn. I can flash out a Dire Fleet Poisoner with Death Touch to keep my defensive prowess. And now for the party to begin. Once we get Warren Soul Trader on field, the first thing that we're going to want to do is to pay a life, sack off our Dire Fleet Poisoner, and make a treasure token. Since Dire Fleet Poisoner has flash, we get to draw a card from Shadow, draw a land, play our land for a turn. Now we have 2 lands, 1 treasure token. The next thing you'll want to do is pay 1 more life, sack off your Undead Sprinter, make a treasure token, and with our 2 treasure tokens and our 2 lands, we're going to bring out our Pitiless Plunderer. Whenever a creature dies while Pitiless Plunderer is on board, you get to create a treasure token. That means for each sacrifice from Warren Soul Trader, you make 2 treasure tokens. And with Undead Sprinter online in the graveyard, thanks to a non-zombie creature dying this turn, the 2 treasure tokens you generate get to recursively pay for your Undead Sprinter. And since it has haste, you get to draw a card each time with Shadow. From here, you can pretty much loop Undead Sprinter and draw cards for as much life as you have. And chances are, out of 30 to 35 chances, you're going to draw something that's going to further you into winning the game. So, do you still want to go fast? Well, if you do, make sure to like and comment the video, as well as subscribe to the Flume Network. This channel is still in its early stages, so I really appreciate all the love and support that it gets. Thank you. Bye.